Hello, 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 amigas, and welcome to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. As you know, amigas, I've been creating so many micro experiences and macro, but I wanted to jump on the mic this time because it was so special. And it was, I would have to say, pretty premium. And it was part of the Viosi Negocio sequence. And in particular, this experience was called Cards and Caviar. And what can I say? I'm going to just, my heart is so touched. And I can't come back down from cloud nine. I'm just going to say that from the outset. So what was happening was that there is a space where faith meets fierce feminine leadership. And today's episode is just basically a full circle moment for me because this is the recap and celebration of a vision that came to my life. And that vision was Cards and Caviar. It wasn't just a micro experience. It was a divine dinner table where God showed up, luxury met purpose, and powerful women poured into each other. So my heart is so full, I can't even contain myself, amigas. So as I'm reflecting back in this amazing moment of gratitude and alignment, I wanted to break it down a little bit and how this experience came about. So I had a vision and of this table where we would get together and have God-centered conversations and step into our leadership role as feminine women, as Latinas, as immigrants, as first gens, as what other generations were there? Oh my God, there was even millennials there. I mean, it was just so jam-packed with beautiful souls. And I always say that God always has something bigger, some bigger plan. And so he did create a better table. Before jumping into the space, there was some apprehension because there was a little bit of how would I say, there were some cancellations, but we're not going to focus on that because, as always, God always says, listen, need not worry, just surrender your fears and your concerns and everything will be well. And I did, and I heed that call. And so the day of the event, as I look back and I remember jumping into the residence and the space, and as I was staring at it, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I've been here many times, obviously, and at different parties. I've done so many parties there, so many amazing gatherings, but this one was a tad bit special, more special in the sense that it was something that came from a thought that came to my heart, that came to my essence, and I just heed the call. And so when I was there, I thought, oh my God, there's so much to do. I possibly should have hired more people. I should have done this. I should have done that. I mean, I started a little bit getting nervous, but at the same time surrendering to what was to come. As soon as I had the thought, I'm like, okay, I'm going to need help in this regard of moving heavy loads, fixing certain parts of the venue. I had an immediate thought. I said, okay, I'm going to contact so-and-so and see if they can help me out. Luckily, they did. Thankfully, I had a young guy who could move pieces, move the poker table, move all the things from the top level to the bottom level. And so I'm so grateful for him and his mom who showed up. And then when everything seems to be chaotic, you suspend reality. And my wonderful, beautiful friend Nadine, she stepped to the plate and said, "Do you need help?" And I'm not one to ask for help. When I ask for help, I always pay for help because I feel like everyone should be paid for what they do and their business, right? Anyhow, obviously she asked to help me out, like not asked to help me out, but she was so gracious to say, "Hey, if you need help, I'm here." And guess what? I said yes. And I'm so grateful. Thank you, Nadine, for that pair of hands, that pair of vision, because she saw something bigger too. And she helped me place the table. And my sister-in-law, Jessica, who was instrumental in lending me her china, lending me her tools, her candles. I mean, for being so amazing in doing the flower arrangements. My God, it was just incredible. And my mother for lending me her vases, lending me her space, lending me so many things. Oh God, there's the kitchen door that keeps opening. So please excuse that noise. But I just remembering this space is just, it brings so much light and flair and happiness to me. And so now we created the space, and there was this elegance, the light, the color palette, the flowers at the table. And so the table really changed everything. The women came ready. They didn't hold back. The conversations that we had at the table, these beautiful souls sitting there, and we started reflecting on some questions that sparked deep dialogue. And some of the questions were, what poker strategy mirrors how you show up in life or business? And where is God asking you to go all in? And what's your winning hand right now? And the plethora of answers that were provided. Some were talking about relationships and how they were playing small in relationships and how they needed to think bigger, clearer about relationships. In business, what was their winning hand? And showing up. And boy, did they show up, not only at the table, but they also showed up at the poker table. It was so incredible. It was just so amazing. And, I had someone say to me, "Amiga, I want to tell you that I really enjoyed Cards and Caviar. I really took it seriously and paid attention to how others played and how I showed up. I was proud of my last move. I really learned a lot about myself." And so her thought process was so amazing because she was able to share that no matter what, that she's going to put all in everything that she does. And so these are the kind of things, the experiences that the women were having. And these women, I mean, they're really top notch at highest levels. Like we had PhD in education. We had a nonprofit CEO at the table. We had a serial entrepreneur at the table. I mean, it was just incredible. Women at high positions there who were God led to sit here and discover how amazing they were and how they get to show up everywhere they go and bring in their divine femininity into it and give all their soul and substance into everything that they do. And I was just so grateful, and just the difference of opinions, and their hearts were filled with gratitude. And I was just in awe that God led me here to experience this. And not to mention the presence of my husband. While he wasn't there to enjoy the luxurious caviar and the dinner and the dessert and those things, but he was present at the poker table. He usually is at the sidelines, but this time he was at the table, literally and figuratively. And as I reflect on how meaningful it was for me, I also reflect on how meaningful it was for him. He had so much fun, and he was in awe of the ladies that showed up. And he was there to teach the lessons on the play, and he was teaching how we get to trust our instincts at the table, and how we get to show up in strategy, and where do we get to bluff, and how do we bluff, and how to do a full house, and how to have a royal house, and how you get to play these cards. And sometimes we're eager and we show up really quick and really fast. Perhaps that's not the best strategy. And so he was able to explain how that could lead into your business, how that can lead into your career. And so it was not only fun, but it was a full metaphor. And it was something was brewing and was building something bigger. It was just compounding. And I really felt like it was an urgent, necessary for me to come on the mic and just really speak highly about it and commemorate what was happening. Really commemorate that not only we were there as faith-led amigas, we were there also to inspire each and every one of us. Our responses triggered an energy in each other. Everyone's response was so different and unique, and it was just so much. I'm not going to go into it because, amigas, I want you to be out there and check out a different micro experience that will be happening next year. And we'll talk more about that as the year approaches. But what I love is the intentionality behind the luxurious feeling of the caviar, the champagne, the gold, the black, the white, just the colors, how they were radiating, how we were just we weren't just networking, we were connecting. We weren't just dressing up, we were activating our highest divine selves. And we showed up. We showed up completely. We showed up vulnerably. And it was just so incredible. And if you're listening and you missed this, don't worry. That was one table, but there's going to be many more to come. And so just keep listening to this podcast. Keep sharing this episode and share more, because we're going to be bringing more next year. 2026 is going to be elevated, amigas. It is going to be huge. And so continue to stay with me. Please, please, please. Cards and Caviar reminded me we don't have to wait to be invited to the table. We can build it. And when we do, we make space for God. We make space for strategy. We make space for laughter and legacy, all in one room. So, amigas, make sure that you keep shining your bright light and bring your divinity into everything you do, because guess what? God wants you to come to the table, to build your own table and come in unapologetically you and vulnerable as well, and surrender to his calling and know that all will be well, and that here at Amiga Handle Your Shit, I keep bringing you every week lessons from my guests. And today's lesson is about God, and it's about strategy, and it's about cards and caviar, and how we get to show up for one another and show up for God. So, amigas, have an amazing day today and keep shining your bright light.